Hi, my name is Natalie Kogan. I just finished my junior year at Bryn Mawr College, and a few months ago I came back home to Virginia to be a student online and take all my classes online, as well as to be a teacher in the religious school online. Um, so it's been very interesting. We use Zoom for everything, so it's been interesting being on Zoom as a student as well as being on Zoom as a teacher in the religious school. So I've had both experiences. Um, so transitioning from being on campus to being online, it's definitely been hard. I really miss all my friends, especially my senior friends, because I don't know when I'm going to be able to see them again. I'm very thankful for, FaceTime and Zoom and that kind of thing, but it's definitely not the same as being in person. Also, I was student teaching at a school in Philadelphia for like this whole year, and so I didn't really get to say goodbye to my students, which was really hard. I really miss them. I think about them and worry about them like all the time. So that's been really hard. But at the same time, I know that I'm very lucky that I have a home to come to, because not everyone does. There's a lot of students at my school, and I'm sure a lot of students at other schools around the country that are stuck in the dorms because they either can't get home or they don't have a home to go to. So I can't even imagine what that's like, just being alone in the dorms on like this deserted campus. So I'm very sad that I'm not on campus and I'm not with all my friends and my students, but at the same time, I know I'm very lucky. So that's I'm trying to like think on that end of it and think about the positive. So in terms of kind of coming in, I came into the religious school like right before Passover, and took over a class with another co-teacher. That has been something positive out of this whole experience. I've really looked forward to it every week, but it's also been quite challenging. First of all, I'm not the only one who can relate to this. There are a lot of college students that are teaching in a religious school, just juggling kind of religious school and figuring out how to teach online, as with juggling all our classes and figuring out classes online and finals and all that stuff. I've had to figure that out. So that's definitely been a challenge, as well as for me personally. I came in at the very end of the year. So on one hand, I've been working in the religious school I worked there for like all 4 years of high school. I come back to sub, whenever I'm on break from school. So it was very familiar to me, and I was able to kind of just jump back in because I know everybody. But at the same time, I was coming in at the very end of the year into a class that had already had another teacher. So I had to figure out what they knew and what they didn't know, what I needed to teach them, how they learned best, what they needed, all that kind of stuff. So that was challenging, and that took me, the first couple weeks of teaching, that was really what I was working on, is just figuring out where they were and what they needed from me. But overall, this experience has been very positive. Like, I want to be a teacher, so I have learned a lot from it, from teaching online in the religious school. But also I've had to kind of figure out ways to like keep kids engaged while sitting at a computer screen. Like, I have 5th graders, and then I also have a group of 2nd graders. So figuring out how to keep them engaged while just like sitting at home, just at a computer screen with all these distractions, has definitely been challenging. Also, just for me, like, I have distractions at my own house. People are loud, people are like knocking on my door while I'm trying to teach. So that's been difficult. It's not the most ideal situation, but overall it's been very, very positive. So in terms of school, I'm definitely very nervous about, what's going to happen next year. I'm going to be a senior, and so I'm supposed to be writing a thesis and taking my senior seminars and starting a grad school program, and I don't know what that's going to look like, and I'm very nervous that I'm going to, have to do that stuff at home. I would prefer to be on campus for that. But I'm also just trying to remind myself that like this will be over eventually. Like, there's a light at the end of the tunnel. We might not be able to see the light, but there is a light. Like, it will be over. We don't know when, but it'll happen. And I'm trying to look at the positives. Like, just knowing that like the situation has given me the opportunity to come back to the religious school and teach, which I really enjoy and also have learned a lot from. You know, and I think as an aspiring teacher, I have learned a lot that I'll be able to take into the classroom. So it's been hard, and I'm nervous about, you know, my senior year of college, but I'm just trying to look on the positives and realize that this will all be over eventually, even if we don't know when.